without struggle. We're gonna do an ab workout today. I'm gonna do it with you. We're gonna do 4 different exercises. We're gonna kind of hit the entire core, and I'll walk you through what to focus on while we do it. I know a lot of people these days have a lot of back pain and neck pain, so I'll walk you through, it seems like you shouldn't do core if you have those things, but if you do have those things, it actually means that you have a weak core and you need to do more core. We just need to modify it accordingly, and then you can bump it up and do the harder versions as you go. So we've got 4 different exercises. We're gonna start with the lower abs, then we're gonna hit the higher abs, then we're gonna hit the obliques, and then of course we're gonna do a little plank variation. We all know that planks are one of the best exercises. So I like to kind of hit every single muscle group every workout. And let's face it, it's okay to do core at least every other day because it's pretty much impossible to have too strong of a core these days. So let's get started. We got first exercise. We're gonna do a reverse crunch. So you're gonna lay it down. Focus on pushing your stomach out on this one, which seems a little bit counterintuitive, but it's the fastest way to kind of make sure that your weight is in your core, and then it's the way to get your back flat. So a lot of people like to put your hands behind your back. If you deal with a lot of back pain, then you need to start with that, but slowly we want to get strong enough so that you're not doing that, because that is a little bit of cheating. So, but the cue is on this one, pushing your stomach out, and then always making sure you're squeezing your shoulder blades down. You can relax your neck. If you have neck problems, then you can put something under your neck if you need to. And if you absolutely have to, you can put your hands behind your back. But like I said, we really want to focus on using those core muscles to protect your low back instead, and it's going to get your deeper core muscles. So let's go ahead and do 15 of them. I'll do them with you. We got pushing your stomach out, back stays flat, bring it straight out, and then just pull it back in. Your butt can stay on the ground for now. So try and extend those knees all the way out. So the further out you go, the harder it is on your core. If you need to, if you feel like you're arching your back even with pushing your stomach out, then just bring your legs up a little bit higher. Even if you have to start all the way up here, that's no problem. And then just as you go, you're going to move them a little bit lower each time. So this is 12, push that stomach out, good. And then you can push your hands into the ground, and that'll help stabilize, and that's good, your torso too. So, and second exercise, this is gonna hit the upper abs a little bit more. And this is one of the only exercises that you ever wanna do where your shoulders are actually rounded forward. So especially with a lot of women, we have a tendency to extend our back, and that's why we have back pain. On this one, squeeze the shoulder blades down. That way the weight's through here, not up here. So if you feel it in your neck, squeeze down harder. Round out those shoulders just a little bit. Heels down, step the lower abs in super tight on this one. Squeeze down, and then you're gonna go back, and then all the way up. So squeezing down, and try and go as far back as you can. Even if you can do full sit-ups, I actually like only going not quite all the way to the ground, because in that way, you can't use momentum. So I know you've probably heard that sit-ups are a terrible exercise for your core, but that's because people just don't do it right. And so when they're doing sit-ups, they like to go like this. And then if your weight's not in your core, it's easy to hurt yourself, and it's easy to use the wrong muscles. So here we're squeezing down, and we're pulling all from our abs. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and that's good. Excellent. Okay, sit up, shake it out. So that one, you're sucking your abs in. Eventually, we do want you to be able to push your top abs out and suck your lower abs in. And then, of course, squeezing down. And then that way, all our weight is in our core. And even with posture, even when we're going throughout the day, that way, once again, we're just protecting our joints by using our core all day, every day. Okay, so this one, you don't need weight. Feel free to add some weight if you want to. The way that you can make it harder is actually to sit further back. So we're gonna do the Russian twist. Hopefully your hip flexors are actually already burning. They're gonna definitely be burning after this set. So squeeze the shoulder blades back and down, so we don't want them forward anymore. Then suck the abs in a little bit, squeeze down, and you're gonna rotate side to side. So here, make sure your shoulders are squeezed down. A lot of people want to use their shoulders for this exercise, but once again, we're trying to strengthen the core so that your shoulders don't have to do as much weight. So you can keep your torso still or your hips still, and then in your hips so those hips can stabilize. It's gonna make it a little bit harder. Let's do a couple more. So we're feeling it all through the obliques. And that's good. Whew, hopefully, so you should feel your hip flexors stabilizing. It's good, we wanna strengthen those hip flexors because we kinda gotta get the hip flexors strong before we can really hit those lower abs. And let's face it, we all carry weight in the lower abs, and they're probably pretty much the weakest point in our body. So get those hip flexors strong. We want that hip flexor burn so we can get those lower abs strong too. Okay, last exercise. I'm gonna do this off the mat because it's easier to not slide around, but feel free to stay on the mat. Here, plank position. So same thing, posture is of course the most important part. So your knees are gonna be totally straight. The closer your feet are, the harder it's gonna be. So go ahead and give yourself a little bit of a base, and then like I said, as you go along, you can make it a little bit harder. Hands right below the shoulders, and then you really wanna focus on squeezing the shoulder blades back and down. We don't wanna be like this, and then we don't wanna be arching down through here, okay? You're in a straight line, and then what a lot of people do wrong is they have all their weight in their upper body, but we actually want it to be a full body exercise. So we want to make sure that you're using your legs too. So those knees are going to be straight, and you're going to focus on tightening up your quads so that you have half your weight in your legs. Make those legs work, make those legs stabilize. You can either hold it here, and you can hold it here. So same thing, squeeze shoulder blades back and down. If you want to start on your knees, no problem. Or if you want it even harder than this, then we can do little shoulder taps. If you can't quite tap the shoulders, then you can tap the elbows too. What we're focusing on is hip stability. So the way that the core is going to activate is if we're actually focusing on stabilizing. So we don't want a whole lot of motion, so we don't want this, okay? That's actually a whole lot easier than keeping your torso still completely except for tapping your shoulders. So, all right, the good thing about this too is it's going to bring the heart rate up a little bit. So squeeze your shoulder blades back and down. Tuck the pelvis under, knees totally straight, tighten up those quads, and then we're going to do little taps. Like I said, if you just want to hold, no problem. So hopefully you should be feeling your hip flexors stabilize. Alright, that was 10. Let's do 5 more each side. Make sure you're squeezing those shoulders, blades back. I can even feel my back wanting to round out. 2 more. Okay, good job. All right, we're gonna do that same circuit 2 more times. So, back to laying it down. You can relax your neck, push your stomach out, extend the knees all the way out, and then push those hands into the ground to stabilize your body. Now, your muscles might be weak if you haven't done a lot of core, in which case, when you do feel like you're starting to arch your back, you can go ahead and put those hands down. But we don't want to get in the habit of it, so just remember, we're trying to get those hands out as fast as possible. But if you do feel it in your back, the other modification you can do is just 1 leg out at a time. So as those muscles start to give out, if you do feel it in your back or neck, and go ahead and go into the 1 leg at a time, or bring those legs up higher because we don't want your back to hurt tomorrow. All right, back to our half sit-up. So shoulders rounded out, set the lower abs in, go as far back as you can, and crunch it up. Like I said, if you feel it in your neck, then you've got to squeeze down harder. I promise it'll get easier as those muscles get stronger. But for now, you gotta keep repeating it to yourself. All right, this is 6. And then same thing, if it's starting to get harder, then don't go quite as far back, no problem. Good, 3 more. Good, 2 more. Last one. Excellent, bring it up, relax those hip flexors. Like I said, we want that burn in the hip flexors, that's a good thing. All right, we got our Russian twist. So our shoulder blades are squeezed back and down. As far back as you can while maintaining correct posture. Like I said, if you feel it in your back, sit it up a little bit higher. Even if you need to just go legs straight because your hip flexors can't quite handle it yet, then even this is a good exercise. But like I said, we want that control. We want to make sure your shoulders are squeezed down, your torso is doing the motion. All right, Let's do it. Shoulder blades squeeze back. Side to side. Big rotation of the torso. All the rotation is happening right here. Whew, hip flexors are burning. Good. 8, we got 7 more. 3 more. And relax. I'm feeling that. I hope you are too. All right. Getting that core strong. The other interesting thing is that your hips are actually part of your core. So especially for you guys, I know that you want really nice abs, but you don't want to do hips. Unfortunately, we do need to do a little bit of hips. The hips are the reason why you carry a little bit of back fat and stomach fat. So let's get those hips strong too, guys. Okay, back to our plank. Remember, so suck the lower abs in, so you're tilting your pelvis under, squeeze the shoulder blades back and down, knees totally straight, half your weight should be in your lower body. Keep those hips still. Let's do it. So you should notice when you are doing this, if you are truly stabilizing your hips, then you should feel your other hip stabilize. So the opposite arm and the opposite leg are working right here. That's how you're getting the most out of your core, is that stability. Okay, one more. All right. Okay, 2 sets down. Let's go ahead and do one more set. So I really preach stability a lot because that's actually probably the #1 thing that people miss in their workouts. We're so focused on lifting heavy weight, but we actually get most of our core work from stabilizing. So if you aren't focused on engaging these core muscles while you're doing regular lifts, then you're not really actually working your core. Like, you know, the biggest myth is people say don't do core because you're doing core throughout your workout. Well, most people are actually not engaging their core through any of their workout because their core muscles are weak. So keep doing these workouts to get those core muscles strong, and then try and focus on these same cues when you're doing your regular exercises. And then that way you are working your core all day, and then you'll notice your core kick in throughout your regular life too, which is exactly what we want. Okay, I was delaying, wasn't I? 3rd set's the charm. Push that stomach out. If your back's feeling good, then stick with the 2-legged, otherwise go to the 1-legged, okay? Let's do the last 15. Hip flexors, get ready. Shoulders forward, lower abs in. 15 sit-ups. Gotta love body weight. All right, last 15, and our core work is done. We got squeeze the shoulder blades back and down, tuck the pelvis under, knees totally straight, tighten up those quads. Don't let those hips move. Let's do it. Hopefully you're already feeling a little bit tighter. Feel free to do that workout every other day. And then each time you want to, you really can't just focus on form for now, because that is how bad we typically cheat. Never feel like you need to use weight, because like I said, stability is a lot more important, and then posture is more important, and just doing it correctly, okay? Thanks for working out with me, guys. Let's do it again soon.